Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, December 18th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm happy to be joined by Steve Helwagen. Steve, very interesting day yesterday as we interviewed Urban Meyer, Greg Schiano for the first time, Chris Ash, Luke Fickell, and several players. Steve, one coach we did not get was Tim Beck, and I found that intriguing. What was even more intriguing was when I asked Coach Meyer whether he might make any changes to his offensive coaching staff after the Fiesta Bowl. And, Steve, he said, quote, "I'm not sure." It would have been very easy for him to say no. So, Steve, a lot of people think Tim Beck won't be back next season, and this just fueled the fire that he won't be back. What is your take, Steve? Do you think he'll be back next year or not?
I think it's still open-ended. I think it probably depends on somewhat how this bowl situation with Notre Dame goes. I don't think Urban Meyer wants to fire Tim Beck and open up a job and then go through another search and everything. If there's a comfortability level there working, then let it go. But, at the other hand, the quarterback situation was very disjointed this year. And I don't know that it was entirely, because of Beck. I think that there were circumstances, I will maintain till the end that, Barrett wasn't ready at the beginning of the season. And he didn't play well, particularly early in the season, to warrant moving into the lineup. And, Cardale Jones, whether it was hamstrung by not having receivers or play calling or however you put it, he didn't play very well either. So, I don't know. They made him the play caller. That wasn't what he was brought in to do. He was brought in to, be one piece of the puzzle. And, I don't know. It just didn't work out real well for him this season. But having said that, they do have him out recruiting quarterbacks, and I find it hard to believe they're going to fire him after 1 year.
Steve, the Buckeyes are even thinner at defensive tackle than we thought because Coach Meyer mentioned yesterday that Tommy Schutt has a foot injury. We're hearing he likely will not play against Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State's not saying that. They're saying he's questionable, but we're hearing he probably will not play. That means Ohio State will be without both Adolphus Washington and Schutt against the Fighting Irish. Steve, it sounds like Joey Bosa is going to play a lot of defensive tackle in this game, and the coaches also mentioned they've been pleased with both Michael Hill and Tracy Sprinkle. Your thoughts on the D-line and how it'll look against Notre Dame, Steve?
Well, Michael Hill's a guy who's really come on. I think he may have even started against the University of Michigan, and so, he's a guy I think that they're looking at as the future at the position. So that's good for him, and he's going to have every opportunity to play probably as many plays as he can handle in this game against Notre Dame. So that's good for him, kind of springboarding him into next year as being a guy that they can build around on the defensive line, a revamped defensive line. When you think about no DD and no Joey Bosa, that's kind of a sobering thought. I mean, those guys collapsed the pocket and made so many great plays happen here the last couple of years. Without Schutt, if he doesn't play, obviously they got Joel Hale, who's kind of a plugger. And then, as you mentioned, Donovan Munger, Tracy Sprinkle, those guys probably in the mix. And you're kind of out of bodies at that point. They don't want to blow a red shirt for, what's basically an exhibition game. So, I just think that they're going to muddle through this, and Bosa can move inside, and Hubbard can play end, and Tyquan Lewis play the other end, and just let it go like that as well. So I think a lot of directions they can take it. It's not an optimum situation. I think Washington, earned some All-American honors, and honestly, he had a very good year. So it's going to be a tough one to get through without him.
On the other line for the Buckeyes, the offensive line, Pat Elflein told me yesterday he's probably coming back, but is taking a look at some things. When we last talked to Elflein, he just said he's probably coming back and left it at that. Yesterday, he said he's probably coming back, but added he is taking a look at some things, and he was asked, what are those things? There's really one thing he's looking at, that being his draft grade. He says if he does come back, he will move to center next season. Steve, what is your gut feeling here? Does Elflein come back to lead the offensive line next year?
Yes, my feeling is he will be back. He'll play center, and they will move on. And I think it will help his markability also in terms of the NFL if he gets some tape on there that he can play the center position at a high level and do a good job. I think that he's got a chance to maybe improve a draft round or two with his grade. If you figure he's probably a 3-4 round pick right now, he could move up maybe to a second round pick or something. If he can improve that marketability, that would really help his cause. Again, I just think that the opportunity is there for him to take advantage of it. And, I think there's a lot of positives. People are in such a hurry to get the kids off to the NFL and get them paid. But in his case, I think there's a lot of positives to staying in school, finishing the degree, and obviously felt that you can do more than one thing. I think that works to his favor.
I agree with you. I think unless feels he's definitely going to be like a second-round pick, and he's coming back. And I don't think it's going to be definite that he's a second-round pick, so I think he will come back and, like you say, play center all year, improve his draft grade, might be a first- or second-round pick next year. So I do think he will come back, but that's one to monitor. All right, last topic here, Ohio State basketball, playing Kentucky in Brooklyn tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time. Game will be televised by CBS. That could get ugly in a hurry. Hopefully not. Also on the hoops front, freshman shooting guard Austin Grandstaff announced he is transferring. He's already left the program. Was not pleased with his playing time, so he took his ball and went home, Steve. Played in all 10 games, averaged 4.4 points per game, shot 33% from three-point range. Steve, what's your take on this? Is this just a kid that had entitlement? A kid leaving after 10 games. What's your take?
Yeah, he really didn't give it a shot. I think the other night was very telling. They're playing Northern Illinois, and he got in the game for, I think, about a 4-minute stretch. In the first half, he took one shot, he missed it, and was back on the bench, very quickly. And I noticed as he was walking to the bench, he had his head down, walked right past that. Mata didn't say a word. That didn't say anything to him, and he just went and sat down. And I don't know if that was the last straw or if this was something that they were waiting for the exams to be completed on Wednesday and for the semester to be complete to pull the trigger on this. But very unfortunate situation, and here's why. Thad Matta goes outside Ohio to take a supposedly highly touted player from Texas, and it doesn't work out. And it doesn't work out in conjunction with the fact that you didn't get Luke Kennard, who was the shooter in Ohio. You didn't get Asa Ahmad. You didn't get Carlton Bragg. So, in lieu of not getting Ohio players who were very good, you had to hit on an out-of-state player, and they missed. And it's just becoming a recurring theme with them. A lot of the guys they're bringing in, you just have to question, can they help you win the Big Ten? And I think the answer across the board on a lot of these guys is no. So another black mark, I think, for Thad Matta in this situation. And then you have tomorrow. They went to play Connecticut last week and got killed by 20 points. I don't think it's going to happen against Kentucky because Kentucky, like Ohio State's a very young team, and they've had some struggles. They lost at UCLA, struggled at home with Wright State. So, they're a very talented team on paper. They have all these 4- and 5-star guys who, several could be one and done. But they lost 7 guys in the NBA last year. So, there's been a lot of upheaval there at Kentucky. I don't foresee any way Ohio State wins this game, but having said that, they may actually have more experience on the court than Kentucky. So, maybe they can hang with them for at least a little bit. But, two more developments with Thad Matta and this basketball team. And, again, you're waiting for some positive things, I guess, to happen. And, I'm not sure when that's coming.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with his recruiting. He set the bar so high, and I know D'Angelo Russell is just the number 2 pick in the draft. It's not like he can't recruit at all anymore. He just got D'Angelo Russell a year ago, but look at the guys that he just brought in, the guys that are coming in next year. It's just recruiting has fallen off so much for Thad Matta, and it feels like we're watching the end of the Thad Matta era. It just feels like the end is very near.
Let me throw in, I like that they're bringing in a couple of talented athletic big men with Derek Funderburk and, the other player that his name is escaping me. They're both at prep schools this year. The 2 big
Micah
kids
Potter.
that are coming in. Yes. I like that they're bringing those guys in. If they use the big men, they've got serviceable big men now with Trevor Thompson and Daniel Giddens. They only play one at a time, and they never throw them the ball. So what are you telling me, where you need help if you're going to play this style of basketball is at 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're not bringing any of those in as things stand right now. And, you're losing at 2. You'll have an opportunity to go after Kobe Simmons, but if he signs with Kentucky in the late period, then, again, the knife's been twisted. You've missed again. So, yeah, they're in a tough spot. They got to find somebody who can play and get them in here as quickly as possible.
Steve, you have a book signing for Undisputed Champions this evening in Columbus. Tell the listeners about the signing tonight and tell them how they can purchase your book.
Yep, very excited about this. Tonight at the Easton Town Center, the Buckeye Corner location there on the second level by the Ocean Club there. We're going to set up from 5 to 8, signing copies of the book Undisputed Champions. Really excited to have this opportunity, and Buckeye Corner's been a great partner in this project, and really appreciate the chance to go out there. And hopefully fans here in Columbus can stop by and say hello and pick up a copy of the book. And if you can't make it, check out Bucknuts.com. We've got the story about the book on the site. Just do a search for Undisputed Champions, or go straight to eBay and type in Undisputed Champions, and the information will pop up right there. And you can order a copy of the book for your loved one who is a great Buckeye fan and would love to read about the 2014 national champions.
Great stuff, as always, out of Steve Helwagen. Thank you, Steve. Thanks to the listeners out there. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Play that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.